All right, and we are back here on the GSMC Football Podcast. And for the second part of the show, we're going to now talk about the Cowboys parting ways with Mike McCarthy. So, like I brought up when I was going over what we would be discussing today, so the Cowboys, they denied teams from interviewing him. And when that happened, I thought that was an indication that, okay, maybe the Cowboys are going to give him another contract and he's going to end up back with Dallas. But that did not happen. And something that was very interesting before the game last night, um, Troy Aikman was on with Scott Van Pelt on the pregame show. And this is what he said about the Cowboys. Like, just the Cowboys' job, the head coaching job. And I guess Scott Van Pelt might have said it's a job that maybe individuals would covet. And this is what Aikman said. I love the Dallas Cowboys. I played there for 12 years. I wish them well, but to say that's a coveted job, I'm not sure I would necessarily agree with that. And that's Troy Aikman saying that. Troy Aikman, who won Super Bowls with the Cowboys. That's very telling. And it could be because McCarthy might have got sick of who I guess Troy Aikman is referring to without actually saying it, and that's Jerry Jones. McCarthy probably got sick of it. And I guess he wanted out. Maybe that's what happened during those conversations that they were having. I don't know. I don't know what could have happened. But it's just interesting how the Cowboys didn't want anyone interviewing him, and now they let him go anyways. Because I thought, okay, they're gonna bring him back. Nope, they're not bringing him back. So he's free to go wherever he chooses. Now the Bears are a team that he can interview with. I think the Saints as well. Maybe the Jets, because the Jets have interviewed everybody. We'll have to go over their head coaching search because they've interviewed a lot of candidates. So I think McCarthy will find another job. I think he's a good enough coach where he'll be able to find work elsewhere, because you'll take a look at his record with the Cowboys. It's not bad. He made the playoffs 3 out of the 5 years he was there, and the team finished 12-5. They make the playoffs, so I think he's going to find work, but it's just going to be a matter of who's going to want to bring him in, because it did. He took the year off, 2019. Didn't coach anywhere, and then was back in 2020. And in his press conference with the Cowboys, he lied, saying that he watched tape on the Cowboys like every single day or whatever he said, just so he could get the job. But I don't think we're going to see any of that. I think he's going to. I think he will latch on to another team, because I think there are teams out there that need, a proven head coach. And yeah, he might not be the best option because, outside of one Super Bowl with the Packers, not and obviously, coaching Aaron Rodgers for so long, many people are going to just point to, well, you only have your resume because of Aaron Rodgers. But Mike McCarthy helped develop Aaron Rodgers. He did. So, I'm going to defend him in that respect. But yeah, I guess, most people will still say, Rodgers had more to do with McCarthy having the record that he has rather than, it being on him. But anyways, yeah, I think McCarthy will find some work. But we'll have to wait and see. But for the Cowboys now, who will they bring in? Now, I saw some posts on who could be the top candidates, and there was some betting odds that I saw. Kellen Moore, I saw, is possibly the betting favorite to maybe be the next in line to be the Cowboys head coach. Now, right now, he's the OC with the Eagles, and he did spend some time with the Cowboys on the coaching staff, and he also played for the Cowboys as well. And then also Jason Witten as well could be a candidate, which I thought was interesting. But also, Deion Sanders supposedly had some conversations with the Cowboys about the job. So we'll see if that goes anywhere. I think if it's going to be anyone, I mean, I guess of those three people, I guess maybe you go with Deion. But then again, I'm not so sure. And I think it also, a big factor is it's going to come down to, how they handle a relationship with Jerry Jones. Because I don't think you're going to get, like I said, I think Pete Carroll should be at the top of any team's list. If you have a nucleus to build around, because I think he can come in and immediately, change the culture and, lead your team in the right direction. But I don't think a Pete Carroll-Jerry Jones relationship would work. So, like I said, when I see that Kellen Moore could be a candidate or Jason Witten, yeah, that it's because those guys will get along with Jerry. They're not going to be guys that are going to want to have full control over the team, other than coach it, of course. Deion's a little different, in my opinion. But, I mean, if he wants the job, I think you got to consider it. But the other thing, too, is he wants to coach his sons. So, I don't know how that would work. But we'll have to keep an eye on it. We'll see if that materializes into anything. But that's just what I've seen. Yeah, I don't think you're going to get a Pete Carroll. And the other candidate would have been maybe Bill Belichick. But again, I just don't know how that relationship would work, even though supposedly I think they have a good relationship, Belichick and Jerry Jones. But, yeah, if Belichick was still out there, maybe he would have been considered. Because, there were reports out there, going into the 2024 season that maybe the only teams he would coach are teams in the NFC East. Obviously that did not happen. But now he's going to be in the college game, and maybe he comes back. Who knows? But yeah, he's not an option unless maybe he changes his mind. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, going to be an interesting offseason for the Cowboys. But I think for me, when you're the Cowboys and you have a roster that's constructed the way it is right now, I don't know if I want to bring in a first-time head coach. That's why, again, I said Pete Carroll, I think, would be the right guy for the job. It's just, it really comes down to the relationship with Jerry Jones, which I don't think it would work. So maybe you bring back Jason Garrett. No, that's not happening. Not happening. I'm just throwing that out there. But yeah, I mean, because you got a quarterback that's making $60 million. You got one of the top receivers. You got one of the top pass rushers. And you got some other good players surrounding them as well. You want to bring in a proven head coach, but again, the problem is the control that Jerry Jones has. And that he needs to take a step back. But he's not going to do that. He's not going to do that. And that's what the fan base has wanted for so long. So, I don't know. But I just think that the comments by Troy Aikman are very telling. A quarterback that won Super Bowls with that team. Him saying that on national TV just tells you all you need to know. So the Cowboys are not going to get a proven head coach. A proven NFL head coach. Let's just say that. The way it seems. Because if they go the Deion route, well, Deion is a college coach. He doesn't have NFL coaching experience. If they go with Kellen Moore, he's been a coordinator, not a head coach. And Jason Witten, that's like when the Colts hired Jeff Saturday to be their interim head coach. I don't want to knock Jason Witten. Jason Witten had a great career, but I mean, what kind of experience is he going to bring to well, at least head coaching experience. Because Jason Witten was a leader on the team, and I get that, and I respect it. But I don't know. I don't know. But let me know what you guys think about this. Do you think that Dion could be the next head coach? Or do you think they're going to go another route? But Dion reaching out to the Cowboys means, he wants the job. But it's just, what's going to happen? Are they going to have to trade Dak and trade up to get Shedeur Sanders? What's going to happen there? I don't know. But something we will have to keep an eye on in the coming weeks here. So the Cowboys are another team that will be looking for a new head coach, and we'll see what happens with Mike McCarthy, where he ends up. Like I said, I think he will get another job at some point. It's just a matter of where. I could definitely see the Saints hiring him. The Bears, they interviewed Pete Carroll. I think that's who you bring in. That's my opinion. So before we go to break, I just want to remind you guys once again to tip or donate and get your comments recognized. Make sure to hit that super chat button in the chat if you want to see me acknowledge any thought or comment you may have throughout the live broadcast. Makes the show more lively, more entertaining between myself, the host, and you guys, the viewers. We appreciate you guys' viewership each and every day, so any contribution you can make to the show means the world to us as we put out content for you guys each and every day. And also, the other way to help out the show is by going to the link at the bottom of the show segment on the ticker, GSMCPodcast.net. That is GSMCPodcast.net. So when we come back from our next break, we will get into recapping the remaining wild card games that we didn't get to. We'll start off with the Eagles-Packers game, Eagles winning that one. So we'll talk about that when we return. So with that being said, stick around, and we'll be right back here on the GSMC Football Podcast.